The second I heard those two loud pops, I knew for a fact that I tore my ACL, and I literally, honestly, I blacked out. I lied there and everything just went flowing through my mind. I sat there and I was like, oh my God, the next year of my life is about to be so different from what I thought.
I had the opportunity to sit down with Mollie Belisle, a sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia on the UGA women's soccer team. Her story of determination and resilience is truly inspirational, and her journey began when she first started playing soccer at the age of 3 at her local YMCA, coached by her dad. Throughout her childhood, Mollie was an athlete who played a multitude of different sports, including basketball, cross country, and volleyball, but ultimately was led to soccer mostly by her friends.
I actually remember very clearly my mom sat me down one day and was like, your friends have decided that they want to leave the YMCA, start playing more seriously. And I remember crying. I was so upset, but of course I didn't want to be left behind, so I ended up going with them, and I stayed at Concord till I graduated high school.
After joining Concord and playing competitive soccer year-round, Mollie still didn't know whether her goal was to play in college. That was a feeling that came further down the road in Mollie's life.
Obviously, my main identity is the soccer player in a way. And I remember growing up and people coming up to me and being like, I can't wait to see you play in college, or asking me about college. And I always kind of just nodded my head and I was like, yeah, I want to play. I never really understood the recruiting process until obviously I got older and actually into it. But it's for sure something I've always wanted to do, and I couldn't imagine not playing in college.
Mollie joined the Holy Innocents varsity soccer team, where she spent 4 seasons as a starter at forward. In her 4 seasons, Mollie broke the all-time scoring record that still stands today with 86 goals, a goal she hopes her sister, a current sophomore at Holy Innocents, doesn't break.
So my little sister is actually a few years behind me. She's a sophomore in high school now, and I'm just really hoping she doesn't catch up to me on that one.
Mollie focused her recruiting in the Southeast, as Georgia, Auburn, and South Carolina were her top 3 schools. However, Georgia wasn't always the clear favorite, as Mollie was in love with Auburn for almost a year and a half of the recruiting process. But when Auburn pulled their interest after Mollie's sophomore season, she was devastated. But this experience ultimately led her right to Georgia.
Obviously, I was really hurt, but that decision that they made for me, I guess, honestly turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Mollie first stepped foot on Georgia's campus in Athens, Georgia in the start of July, as the team is required to be on campus the month leading up to the start of the season. While starting was on Mollie's mind, she didn't see it as a true possibility until the end of summer practice.
I do clearly remember us having a few scrimmages before the first game, and I remember scoring in one of the scrimmages, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually doing okay.
Mollie went on to start her first ever game as a Georgia Bulldog, and not only did she start, but she scored.
Well, starting that first game will probably be one of the best memories I have here, because not only did I get to start my first game, but it was also against Auburn, the school that I thought I'd be going to.
While the first game and the beginning of the season were incredible for Mollie, she proved she wasn't immune to the negative effects of being a college freshman, as her new way of life began to interfere with her soccer career.
I started the first game, and from there, it was kind of rough. I had a pretty rough freshman season. Everything kind of caught up with me, and trying to figure out how to manage my new lifestyle was really hard for me.
The 2017 season didn't pan out the way the Bulldogs had hoped, as Georgia finished the season 4-12-2, but stayed close in almost every game. This ultimately led to pure frustration for Mollie and the rest of the team.
It sucks, even now, looking back at the record, because it honestly does look like we're not that good. We were bottom of the SEC, but every game was so close that the scores don't,
they don't add up. I mean, yeah. You look at the games and they're all 1-score, 2-score games.
Yeah. We had a lot of last-minute goals against, which was really unfortunate.
The 2018 summer was monumental for Mollie, as she focused harder than she ever had before, looking to redeem herself. Mollie knew she had much more to offer than what she showed in her freshman season, and set out to make sure that when she returned in August of 2018, she would be at her best.
I dedicated my summer to soccer and playing and making sure that when I came back for preseason, I would be the best that I could be. So I played on 2 travel teams. I played in 18 games. I really worked on my nutrition. I lost weight to better myself for the game and be able to last for 90 minutes. And when I came back for preseason, it was honestly evident that I was in honestly the best shape of my life.
What was supposed to be a triumphant return soon turned to tragedy just days away from the start of the season.
I went to quickly pressure my teammate, and she kind of started going left and then quickly turned and cut right to go the other direction. So as I went from changing from right to left, I cut. It was non-contact, and my knee just didn't come with me. And I knew immediately that I had torn my ACL.
From the minute Mollie heard the 2 pops, she knew the rest of her life was going to be completely different. But as Mollie reflects on the moment over a half a year later, she still can't get over how fast her life changed doing something so routine.
Disappointing and shocking, especially how fast it happens. Like last drill of practice, 3 days before the first game, I thought everything was going great, and it literally took a wrong cut, something that is literally second nature to a soccer player. Like I've been doing that my entire life, and just one wrong cut completely changed my next year.
The injury immediately began to affect Mollie mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, as what was supposed to be her best season had taken an unfortunate 180.
I definitely suffered a loss of identity, or I felt like I was at a loss of identity towards the beginning of the season, because ultimately I couldn't portray what I was there to portray, I guess, which was be a leader on the field and like show what I have to offer on the field. So
the road to recovery began immediately as Mollie underwent 20 days of prehab leading up to her ACL reconstruction surgery that she underwent on August 25th, 2018.
2 hours a day rehab every single day. Definitely the most painful thing I've ever been through. I had no idea what pain even was before I experienced this.
While the pain was one thing, the stagnant progress was a whole other problem, as Mollie hit what she described as a bump in the road. After multiple months of no healing, Mollie underwent a second surgery in March of 2019 to remove the scar tissue that had built up on top of the new ACL graft, a scar tissue that was completely hindering the movement of her right knee. With this second surgery in the rearview mirror, Mollie is finally starting to look towards the 2019 season.
My goal is to be back by August 1st, which is the first day of preseason. I am not stepping foot out of Athens until I'm fully cleared. From the day I got hurt, I told myself that the first game back I will start, but there's obviously a lot of things to consider when that happens, so whatever happens, I'll be perfectly fine coming off the bench at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting on the field. That's all that matters.
While getting back to playing full-time for Georgia is still Mollie's main goal, she continually wrestles with the idea of not being the same player she once was.
There's days when I'm like, I can't wait to be back. Like, this is a one-and-done injury. Like, I'm going to get back to normal. I'm going to go play again, and everything's going to be fine. But then there's also moments where I'm like, I'm never going to be the same player that I was. And I always think about how of my 19 years playing soccer, I never once stepped on the field thinking, oh, I could tear my ACL today.
But not all of Mollie's thoughts are worrisome. Mollie mentioned that when she gets on the field in the fall, it'll be the first time in over a year, a moment that is continually playing in her mind.
Something that I've also thought of every single day since I got hurt is the next game I play or the next goal that I score. Like, I have rehearsed, or whatever you call it, in my mind, different goals every single day. Have dreams about it.
While Mollie's story has been full of ups and downs, the last year has been truly eye-opening.
Definitely went through a funk my freshman year and was confused and didn't know what to do, and I think I lost my love or sight of the game, honestly. And getting hurt, as much as it sucked, it's definitely opened up a new perspective for me and really reminded me why I play the game and why I love getting the opportunity, especially to play at Georgia and represent Georgia.
Today, Mollie is still attending practice without actively participating, but continues to support her teammates through spring practice and games. She recently enlisted the help of a new physical therapist as she hopes the fresh eyes will jumpstart her back to normal. Besides the 4-inch scar on her right knee, Mollie's injury is completely unnoticeable, a testament to her hard work and determination to fully recover. Her story left me truly inspired, and if there's one thing I'm completely confident in, it's that Mollie will start the first game of the 2019 season. For Grady Sports Media, I'm Bennett Porson. Thanks for listening.